May we start? Rohit bhai?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's Alamgir Hossain, Deputy Coordinator, Monitoring, Evaluation Learning, TAB, and Admin of Digital Mill Hub, Bangladesh. It's my great pleasure that all the emerging MNE professionals of national and international have joined today. As you know, MNE profession is an important role in project management and capacity building in performance and impact measurement with their organization. I want to take to give thanks to all of you, my senior expert, facilitators, mentors, friends, and wishers who are giving continuous support and valuable advice to make my journey successful. Before starting today's session, I'd like to say something about Circle Associate or Digital Mill Hub webinar and facilitator. Digital Mill Hub is a virtual open learning platform for solely M&E professional with the vision of connecting all the M&E professional all right under one umbrella and build strong sustainable network to increase professional knowledge so that we can share our knowledge, experience, documents, and opinion. Feel free to ask any query here related to M&E. I'm excited that near about 2,200 registered members from more than 180 countries are already connected here till today. I am trying to connect all the M&E professionals worldwide via three social media platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn with the vision of making strong networks with us. I believe connection is most important for career growth. I am always keen to learn any something new. So today is my desired day to learn new something with my surrounding M&E people by trainer Rafik Bhai. I optimistic that we all will be benefited by this platform and webinar. Mention that Circle is a monitoring, evaluation, research, learning, and knowledge management platform which is registered by Joint Stock Company, and Digital Mill Hub is a wing of Circle Associate, which is as a learning platform from 2023. Honorable ME professional, it's a special
Sorry.
great momentous to have Mr. Rafiqul Islam as a speaker today. And this is the 15th webinar on program sustainability and monitoring strategy development. I honored and grateful to him that he gives his valuable time to for us from his busy schedule. Mr. Rafiqul Islam is an expert on monitoring, evaluation, learning, simple technique, impact assessment, designing and planning, monitoring evaluation, report writing, monitoring strategy development, and so on. He has over 20 years of working experience in the field of M&E with World Vision Bangladesh, World Fish, Counterpart International, USA Horticulture Project, and Care Bangladesh in different positions. Currently, Mr. Islam is working as M&E lead with Care Malay. He holds a master in statistics from Jahangirnagar University, Bangladesh. Dear folks, November month is very remarkable month for Digital Mill Hub or me because I made this platform in this month through first webinar on sampling technique with Rafiq Bhai. It's amazing for us, and thanks all of you to connected with us. Already all of you know about him through recently my video content, advertisement, and other communication channel. I have a small announcement. Please click the link either Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp given in a chat box to be connected with Digital Mill Hub if you are not connected. Before we start, I would like to share some housekeeping rule for everyone. Your microphone is muted and you will give open discussion or feedback at the end of the session. The webinar is being recorded. You will get similar recording and PPT after the webinar. So keep question or suggestion at your mind. Now, it's time to hear from our guest speaker, Nozul Bhai, Chairman of Circle Associate. He is very much expert in monitoring, evaluation, research, and learning. I am requesting Nozul Bhai to share this his valuable experience regarding program sustainability and monitoring strategy development about Circle Associate. Over to you, Nozul Bhai. Please say something. Nozul Bhai, are you hearing? Nozul Bhai may be not connected. Just 2 minutes ago, I talked with him. So,
Hello. Hello.
yes, please say something. Nazul Bhai. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, yes, we are hearing. Please carry on.
Yes. Yeah, some way I'm being on mute. I don't know why. Okay. Welcome everybody to Circle's learning hub called Digital MEL Hub. Many of you knows about Circle. Circle is an association of the MEL professional in Bangladesh. Main objective of this association is practicing high quality MEL skill and technologies in the development sector and establishing network with the MEL professional in home and abroad for sharing knowledge, practice, etc. for mutual development. To achieve this objective, we are almost every month organizing an webinar on different skills and practice of MEL technologies. We are also organizing skill development training. We have successfully completed COBO and GIS training, and young professionals joined this training and they made a good success through this training program. We have many more training in our pipeline. In addition to that, this training actually we provided digital platform, but we have also planned to organize training in-person training, and which will cover, practical exercise in developing the MEL plan, learning framework, accountability framework, project cycle management. We have also planned to work with an university to start a certificate course and also a diploma course. So our many professionals who are the board member of this Circle Associates are not in country. We are, hoping that they will back to Bangladesh and carry on many of these responsibilities. I'm also requesting our international colleagues who are the member of this MEL Hub also contribute to this effort of developing the MEL professional all over the world. We would like to be in same skill and same technologies so that all the countries would work in the same platform and make the development homogeneous development throughout the country, throughout the world. So with this word, I would like to conclude my speech, and I'm giving my floor to Rafiqul Islam, who is my colleague and also the board member of this Circle Associates. Thank you all for patient sharing.
Thank you so much, Nozul Bhai, for your short briefing about Circle and Digital MEL Hub. Now it's time. Our respected Rafiq Bhai, I am requesting to Rafiq Bhai to start today's session on program sustainability and program strategy development. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Alamgir Bhai and Nazrul Bhai. I don't know, are you hearing me?
Yes, sure.
Thank you very much. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on who are sitting in the world. And I would like to thank Alamgir Bhai again to give me this opportunity to talk on this webinar. And we will be talking about the program sustainability and monitoring strategy. That's a bit of new in the development sector. But okay, not only I will be talking, I will be also hearing at the end from the colleagues around the world, so that we jointly and collaboratively can contribute to the development. So I would like to give a declaration here. As the introduction by Alamgir, you understand that I am currently working with CARE, a USAID-funded project named Titukulani here in Malawi. So while I will be talking here, and the presentations and the examples that I will provide, it will come from this current project as well as the USAID's RFSA. So though I would like to tell that this content here is the responsibility for Circle and the digital hub, and it may not necessarily represent the views of either CARE or USAID. Or the United States governments. So let's going to the sustainability. This term has separate, sometimes we mean differently. So I would like to do a short knowledge check. So is Alamgir Bhai, can you please share the link to chat box? And I would request all the participants here, please click the link, and there is a 3 options here. Read carefully and please provide your opinion on whether you would the meaning of sustainability is in option 1 or option 2 or option 3. So that will help me to start the discussion on the sustainability issues.
Please vote. Let's see the chat box link. Please vote in short. So let's see in chat box, and just click any on from 3 option. Working out, working. Just let's see link in chat box and then vote anyone from 3 option. Yes, I mean. Yes.
As I see vote is coming.
Yes. Please quick vote, give vote, and we can show the result here. You can refresh again. Yes, going on.
Okay, I am taking a little bit of time here because it will help me to discuss for in the future the other slides. So I think, Alumni, let's continue. Thank you very much, colleagues, for your contribution and participating in these options and these discussions. So you are right. You see this 42 uh, is okay. The option 2 is getting most of the colleagues is voting this the second option. So that's right. We have a very good idea. I understand the most of our this prompt is the sustainability is the degree to which service or processes continue once the input provided by the original sources is decreased or discontinued. Means in the project, when the projects during the implementation generating the process services, or in other terms you can tell the outcomes, and then the degree of the outcome is continuous and the process is there while the project is uh, phasing out gradually or when they already phase out. So that's the fundamental meaning that the sustainability. So we understand that the sustainability is you have a 5 years project and then you close the project, whether the changes you made or the processes or system that you created are
You are muted, Rafiq bhai. You are muted.
Bhai, you are muted suddenly. Please.
yes, it is telling that you muted me. Anyhow, I unmuted myself. So okay, so now sometimes the technology do not work. So in terms of the definition that in the second option, this definition I collected from the one of the USAID's documents. Though the sustainability is the degree to which service or processes continue once inputs, the funding, material, standing, etc., provided by the original sources, decrease or discontinues. So that's our knowledge. We understand this, and then why we need the sustainability. That's and why we are thinking about this. To understand this, I would like to take another poll from the colleagues here. So do you find sustaining behavioral change or outcomes achieved during the project implementation to be a significant challenge in development projects? As here who are participating, I understand that most of us either in a mini background, but most of us we are working in a development project. Either it's a emergency project or the normal development project. So do you find that the sustaining a behavioral or outcomes are a significant challenge? Please vote here.
Yeah, please let's yes, please let people on. Please let's hit in chat box and then vote, please. Already I given the
Please send the link.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, what I understand is the 100% of the participants here, we all agree that it is a challenge to make sustaining the behavioral changes or outcome that we achieved during the project. So to confirm this, I would like to just one more vote. Just one more vote. Alamgir bhai, can you please send
Yes,
the
yes,
another
already
link?
I provided the link in chat box.
Okay, and after this, then we'll go for the main discussion. And thank you very much for participating in this poll. So, is the issue of sustainability, where benefits achieved during the project implementation often diminish after the project conclusion. A widespread concern across the development industry. So, is a whenever we phasing out the project, most of the benefit that we create in the community and for the people whom we work is mostly gone. So I don't know whether it is working. The vote, yes, I saw. Okay. I see some of the disagreements as well. Thank you. Yes, that I was expecting, but okay, yeah. Uh,
Rohit bhai, again refresh and then.
yes, so I see there are, okay, mostly we agree this, that, but okay, there are, I saw one, but I was expecting even more. I disagree. So there are some projects here and there. In fact, we created some of the changes that are continuing. So it's there are examples here and there. I don't know what I can say. I don't know whether anyone here from the Bolivia and Honduras. One of the report I saw from the USAID's evaluation, they are telling this water and sanitation projects in the Bolivia and the Honduras. The participants are motivated to pay for a piped water system, and that are working very, very well, and that's sustaining. So it is the most of the cases it is not sustaining, but there are few cases. There are examples that some of the activities are sustaining. For example, in the another example that I found in the USAID's evaluation, in again the Bolivia is one of the government's support in the health system. They're decentralized and that's work well, but that are not working in the Kenya, I would say. as per the report. So I said this most of the cases is that's why I wrote it often, and so this vote is reflecting that one. So okay, colleagues, let us go for the next discussion. So this is a problem. In fact, the sustainability it is a challenge in the development project. So sustaining a project outcomes, including both behavioral and the structural aspects, poses a significant challenge. Benefit achieved during the project implementation, this often, most of the time, it says this once the project concludes is diminished, is not there. So this is not only for one of the country and not in a specific project. It is a industry wide problem. The issue of sustainability is not confined to a specific project. It is a industry wide. I would say every country and every type of projects that the many development initiatives face difficulties in maintaining the positive changes they initially bring out. And then what's happened? We usually see that in the project mostly we develop a parallel system in the projects. You see the most of the project, you see if it is a agriculture project, you see that we create a parallel staff or volunteers to support to the community along with the government extensionist. If it is a health project, we also create a parallel force in the ground to work with the health related extension services. So what's happened during the project, it is effective during the active project phases. So this system often struggle to endure once the project concludes. So this parallel system we create in the development projects. So if it is related whatever the sector, we create either volunteer or staff in the ground with either for supporting with the governments or other private sectors. So then we need a imperative action. Addressing this industry-wide challenge is crucial for ensuring the lasting positive impacts in the development sectors. So developing a program to sustainable and the monitoring strategy is essential to overcome these inherent issues in the continuity of the project outcomes. So as we understand, as the participants through the knowledge check and the vote, the pool, we understand most of us here who are participating are agreeing with this. This is the making a sustainable is really a challenge. On the other hand, for value for money, it is now a crucial for us to ensuring this lasting positive impacts. So now we need to think really how we can make the sustainable in our reports in the ground. So there were some research that conducted by USAID on this, why the project are not sustaining while they are investing a good amount of resources. So in US, they conducted a sustainability and exit strategy study in India, Honduras, Kenya, and Bolivia. They started in 2009, and it's through the Tufts University. The objectives were to assess the effectiveness of Food for Peace supported project sustainability plans and exit strategies. So what's happened? All the USAIDs, RFSA project, or earlier it was Food for Peace, they asked to the organization how you will, what is your sustainability and exit strategy. So they employ the staff university to examine that the effectiveness of those plans and to determine what factors enhance the likelihood of sustained project activities and benefits. So this they started in 2009. The result came on light in maybe 2016, and they started applying those. Okay, I'll talk about more on this, but let us understand the conclusion of that research. So this research identified 4 factors are crucial to achieving sustainability. All need to be present and should be synergetic, not isolated. All these 4 factors also be synergy each other, and those are the sustained motivation of participants and service providers, the technical and managerial capacity, sustained sources of resources, and the linkage to the government and other entities. So this is the 4 main factors they identified during the research. And today my rest of the presentation and discussion will be around with these 4 factors. We will be discussing on these 4 factors rest of my presentation. And who are interested to know more on this research, I added here the link on the below. I'm sure Mr. Alamgir will share this presentation to you, so you will be able to go to that link and you can learn more. So in terms of research, after this, the USAID also conducted about 16 joint midterm evaluation. And this midterm evaluation used this TUPS exit strategy research as a guide to see the issues around why the activities are not sustaining based on this, and it took place in Guatemala, Madagascar, Malawi, and Haiti. So every activities had major problems with sustainability, despite a variety of approaches, and the results of these joint midterm evaluations are available in the online. I added here the link in FSN network. So anyone interested to learn, you can go and download and read this. Really, it is interesting. And I would see all the MEL professionals who we are engaged in the monitoring and evaluation. Really, this is a very, very important resources that if you read, then understand the practicality and even the areas as a MEL, what are the areas you need to focus to monitor that will help to sustain the project. Okay, if I am Alumgir, if I am very fast, then you please stop me, so that I usually hear from my colleagues that I am too fast while I am talking.
Okay, no problem.
If
carry on.
that is happen, please stop me. Then I'll try to make myself slow talking.
Okay, carry on.
Thank you. So in the midterm evaluation, they found that there are some promoting practices. What are those? Like the private service providers. So this private service providers is really, really important, and they can continue. Some of the government system or service delivery are working, but with the condition there are some limitations. The government always has some scarcity of the fund resources and also the policies. But there are the profitable producer groups, the quality training that include adult learning methodology for the practical techniques that can work well, and the village savings and loan association, usually called VSLA, that's are also really promoting on those evaluation they found. The linkages, like the example, the future in Guatemala, the private sector in Madagascar, and also the community engagements. So this is this midterm evaluation they considered as a guide for the research from the Tufts University and identified the factors that are positively contributing to make the project sustainable. So now let us go back to these 4 factors. This is something that we really need to understand, not only for the MNE, all the projects stakeholders need to understand this sustained resources, sustained capacity, sustained motivation, sustained linkages. What does it mean? And accordingly, we need to design our projects as well as the monitoring and evaluation. So let us go one by one, a little bit of discussion. The sustained resources is how will the service providers continue to have access to resources to provide critical services? So mean, what are the necessary and sufficient conditions required for sustaining resources? Okay. And what is your project's plan to strengthen these conditions? What interventions your project will implement to improve service providers' access to resources? So have you mapped out these activities in your theory of change? So this is one, whatever the status of your project, if it is the project is under design, you need to consider these factors. If your project in a mid-level, in mid stage, you need to consider and you need to make the changes in your theory of change. And you need to answer those questions. What are the necessary and sufficient conditions that required for sustaining resources? So what are the resources here mean? Like, the resources is that the project is providing, for example, okay, let me give you an example. So if a veterinary services, so whether that person have the necessary tools and techniques to provide this service. So whether they have this necessary type of fund to get the medicines and selling, so a small fund he needs. So whether those resources, so whether the project is working to make those resources so that when the project will close or phasing out, those service providers can continue with those resources. The second one is the sustained capacity. So what are the sources of capacity strengthening? How will the service providers continue to strengthen their technical and managerial capacity to deliver the service? So now we need to ask the question to ourselves. What is our project's plan to ensure that the service providers will have continuous access to resources to improve their capacity? So as we are providing training to the service provider, building their capacity, but the capacity and skill is not static. It is a continuous. So new theme come, new research can identify new skills that needs. So whether whether there is an option that we created, that if they need additional training, where they need to go and how they can get those trainings to improve their capacity. We need to ask this question, and then we need to include those activities into the theory of change. So that means whether those activities is already in your project's plan is fine. If not, then you need to add those activities immediately, so that the capacity that we are building, those are get a option to continuous access to resources to improve their capacity. Okay. The third one is the motivation. Is really important one. So like, okay, what will keep the beneficiaries motivated to invest their time and resources to practice what they learn from the project? So the beneficiary, why they will go to the FFBS meeting? Why they will go to your farmer field school? Why they will go your quotidian meeting? What are the motivation? How will the service providers be motivated to continue to provide high quality service to the community? A service provider, what are their benefits? What are their motivation here? That's we need to understand and then create. Without motivation, for example, I don't know, if my organization stop my salary tomorrow, or will be able to serve here? No. But there are other activities, the motivation. If there are several types of motivations are there. So what we are doing to creating this motivation to create and sustain demand? How do our project would influence beneficiaries and service providers motivations? This motivation is very important. For example, if the motivation is creating a business, so if you create a business, then they will benefit to provide the service. The service provider will provide service, and they will get the fee. And there's not always this is not always a monetary value, but also others as well. For example, if I tell, okay, if it is a church-based activities or a mosque-based, is a religious institutions. So there are some motivations that doing good job will get return in future, in maybe in the next world or the next life. On the other hand, okay, there are some honor, or if I provide this service to my community, the community will honor me. So that's my motivation. This motivation is really important. So we need to review our project and identify what we are doing to create and sustain demand, and also what are the motivations for both the service providers as well as the service recipients. And the last one is the sustained linkage. This is also important. Do the service providers have linkage with other organizations or entities to complement resources, strengthen capacity, and motivate the frontline services providers and the beneficiaries? We really need to understand whether our projects, what is our project's plan to establish or strengthen a linkage between the service providers and institutions or organization with resources. So in absence of your project, where they will get the resources as well as the informations and other technologies if they need. So this link with the related sector specific, it can be an organization, it can be the government, and it can be other organizations. So you have to make a linkage so that they get the additional resources, knowledge, and other information they need when you are not be there. So then also we need to identify those activities, and that's need to map in our TOC. So this 4 is really important. If we make sure these 4 elements are in our projects, then you can expect that that some of the services and the processes that we create luckily to be sustained. So the okay in the USAID's RFSA context, they identified the some of the activities, the some of the services that must continue beyond the project. What are those? So the practices and behaviorals that we promote, like the agriculture technologies, IUICF, WASH activities, and health practices. Maintenance of the infrastructures that we build or repair, like boreholes, irrigations, water distribution, road culverts, and markets. Continued and increased access to inputs that we facilitate, like tools, high quality seeds, fertilizers, vaccines. So that's they identify that their funded projects, these must be continue beyond the projects, and may not continue. There are some of the activities that might not be continued, like transfers, the food or non-food that we give as a transfer. Then the food, seeds, tools, tillers, pumps, water tanks, etc. Food for work or cash for work. Then 1,000 days rations. This 1,000 days ration means to pregnant and lactating mothers, nutrition cash transfers type of things. So those might not be continued after the projects. So, okay, they also consider that who will provide these services while the project will phase out. The local government staff, paid staff who can support at the community level, if the government has adequate staff at the community level to support the poorest households. So this one of the main actor who will continue the services. One is the government, and the second on the local private service providers who are willing to take it as a business. So the third one is the community-based organizations who have incentives to provide these services. Here, I would like to really give a basis on the second one, the local private service providers. So if you make a business case in any of the activities that we are providing, if we can create a business so that this pay for service that are highly potential to be sustained. The government is of course there, but the governments have some limitations. Governments has its the mechanism to work, but if you really want the development work to sustain, we have to focus on these business. And of course, these community-based organizations, they are there, they have some other types of motivations. So they provide services, but mainly if we can give focus on the service providers and create a business, that will be potential to sustain. Okay, so as per the RFX contest, they okay, of course, during the design of the projects, you need to consider all these 4 factors that I discussed. But the sustainability activities starting on year 4. In year 4, our FSA will shift to a facilitative model. So when in year 4, you usually RFSA project are 5 years projects. So in the up to year 3, you work the groundwork. In the year 4, you work together with the service providers. The service will be delivered by the local actors without any fund incentives from the projects. Okay. And RFSA staff will monitor, continue to provide capacity strengthening support and strengthen linkages. So this concept also, there are a research, I would say, is a piloting going on in Bangladesh. I would say there are 2 projects, one in under World Vision and one in under care. So this piloting is going on there. So this service should be provided using the business model jointly developed with the RFS staff. What I told earlier, that each and every the outcomes that will generate, we need to find a business model, and we need to jointly develop this model with the project staff and the service providers together. And also, we do not expect the LSPs, local service provider, running the farmer field schools or care groups. They will offer the service using a business model. It is no more volunteer. The volunteerism will not sustain. That can work on temporary basis while you will be in the field. Local government staff at the community level should provide services without any financial incentives, per diem and stipend from the RFSA. So we find that in the ground, when we work, our frontline staffs or go make a field visit with the frontline government staff, with providing the per diem and stipend, etc. So when you will not be there, they will not get this per diem or stipend. They will not go then field. So they have their job description, they have their salaries. So we should not provide these types of do not create this culture, rather than let work together hand in hand. Okay, considering this approach, okay, now RFSA, okay, this there is some timing in terms of the RFSA. In the first year, they do, it's called R&I, do some piloting and identify the research, the knowledge gap, and identify the areas you need to work. But in year 2, you start for input and the service to the service providers, identify the service provider management, and to the service provider input and skill. So all you need to work with the service providers in the year 2. And then you need in year 3, you need a formation, the assessments, skill building, help develop the business plan, linking with the financial services and other organizations and the skill providers. And year 4, you need to monitor and handhold, co-facilitate. That's the model. And the year 5, the local actors are in charge. You will be sitting in the back seat and do the monitoring, how it's working. So this is the model or approach that's developed by RFSA to improve the sustainability. So based on this, now I would like to discuss on based on this learning in the RFSA in Malawi, how we are applying this learning now. Before going there, I would like to ask Alamgir, how much time do I have? So I see it is already an hour.
Yes, yes, between 13 minutes. You may. finish.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I will give some examples in the current RFSA here in Malawi based on the RFSS model and the sustainability elements that I discussed. So how that are adapting in the current projects. So what's happened? We conducted a workshop with all the program staffs, and then review all the M&E reports, and also discuss the current state of the implementation in the field and the field observations as well. Also socialize this concept of the sustainability that we learned from the USAID's RFSA model, and then the project staff identify the outcomes and the services, those potential to be sustained. So it is a consolidated process, and then we considering the current situation, the project staff identify what are the outcomes and services that those might be sustained, and then what are the service delivery model is being considered for what interventions, and then we clearly define the processes systems for establishing the LSP with focus on the motivation, capacity, resources, and linkages. And accordingly, we review our TOC and includes some of the new activities that's required to make those motivation, capacity, resources, and linkages in year 4, I would say. And then, thus for practical example here, so the colleagues of the component, they identified this, we prepare like this table, the type of service to be sustained and relevant service providers and mode of services. For example, the agriculture and livestock input, the extensions and technical services, agriculture products marketing, selling and buying, access to basic drinking water supplies, access to climate and indigenous early warning information, protect and manage natural resources. Those, and then we identified the relevant service providers. So in first on the agro dealers, community-based trainers, private veterinary, pharmacy, community animal health workers, lead farmers, etc. And then the model, one is the first one is a fee-based. The second one is the marketing that create a revolving fund. Then the water is for fee for water. And then there is the access to climate and indigenous early warning. That is, one is the volunteer, that the charge based. Another is the public service, the government's frontlines committees and the structures in the community level. On the other hand, another protect and manage natural resources, that's also a forest-based enterprise. So if you see that there are fee-based, there are two are fee-based, another is revolving fund, and there is a government as well as the enterprise, the forest-based enterprise. I'll discuss more, maybe a couple of them, how we are working, so that will be that likely to be sustained. So what we identified, for example, one of the outcome is expand network of local private veterinary services. That the outcome, and then the key service to sustain the livestock healthcare and the extension of technical services through the community animal health workers. And what are the processes and systems? That the capacity is the community animal health workers will receive training on the government's established module and support them with startup kits, the bicycles, training notes, and the motivation is they will get fee. And the resources, they have the kits as well as they have the bicycle. And the linkage, we linked with them the private veterinary pharmacies, then also the government veterinary officers, and also we create a livestock farmers pass on program. This pass on program is we are providing the chicken and goat to the beneficiaries, and there is a condition that they will pass on the same number of livestock to their fellow farmer. So as we are promoting this livestock in the community, as well as the community health workers also there, so they will get their business over there. So this is the way you need to identify what are the services that you are creating, and what will be the service provider capacity, motivation, resources, and the linkages. Okay, so earlier here another is the local service provider is area mechanics. It is for the market-based water supply. So we train the water point committee and the area mechanics, and the motivation for the community is the sustainable access to potable water, and area mechanics will increase their income. The resources is the monthly household financial contribution, and it's called borehole banking. So each and every household who are collecting water, they are paying monthly subscription for this water. And there is a linkage and also facilitated agreement between the area mechanics and water point committees. We also link the spare parts shop owners and the district water development officers, so that in absence of the project, the area mechanics can get all the support from the district water development officers. Another example is the Village Natural Resource Management Committee, who are providing the forest-based enterprise to generate income for communities to manage the natural resources. So we have the natural resources. Okay, I was muted. So we are providing training to the Village Natural Resource Management Committee, and also the motivation is the forest-based enterprise. What's happened, the forest-based enterprise mean this, we are providing support for beekeeping. This beekeeping, they are producing honey, and then we are connecting them with the other companies who can buy the honey from them. So they are generating income, and based on this, they are taking care of the natural resources. They are doing the forestations as well as the watershed management with this income. So this is the practical example that's the Malay RFSA is taking. Okay. So in terms of the monitoring of those activities, for these sustainability activities that are taking place, what we are doing, we train the program and the ME team on the sustainability concepts that developed by RFSS. Then we conducted the workshop to identify the key outcomes and the services for sustainability, and develop the sustainability model. That's I show that the tables. And then we modify the theory of change to include the activities for the sustainability. And then we identify the data points for local service providers database. So all the service providers that identified who will be continue the work, we created database. And then also we identify the performance questions for those LSPs, those service providers. And also we include the sustainability indicators in the annual survey. So in terms of monitoring, in fact, we are doing only 3 activities. One is to provide a database on the service providers, their basic informations, and then we create the performance questions so that periodically we can collect this performance data and analyze and use in the adaptive management, and also include some of the indicators in our annual survey. So like the LSP database, for example, this community animal health workers, we identified the data points, the area mechanics, and the village natural resource management. So these data points all we created, not only these 3, all other LSPs with support from the program staff. So it's jointly with program staff and MNE staff together identifies the data points and then develop the database. Okay, here is the 2 pics. Suddenly, this is the community animal health workers, and right side is the tube well mechanics who are supporting in the community. And then the LSP's performance monitoring, we created the questions that's also disaggregated by the motivation, resources, capacity, and linkage. So when we will collect this data periodically and analyze, and then we understand whether the motivation are happening, whether the capacity related activities is going well or not, whether the linkage has taking place or not, and based on this information, the program can take the decisions and refine the ground level activities and use as the adaptive management. The performance monitoring also, the questions we identified for different local service providers. Okay, and then we include these 4 indicators in our annual survey. That percentage of people receive service from the USG supported local service providers, the percentage of PSPs reported increased growth of their business, percentage of local service providers place demand to relevant government departments and or private institutions, organizations for the service, and percentage of local service provider receiving assistance from private and public service providing institutions. These 4 key indicators that we'll be collecting annually. So I am about to end up my presentation, but in summary, what I understand, okay, I'd like to give a summary points what we need to do. So we need to clearly define the sustainability model and the business model for the new projects during the design phase, emphasizing the importance of integrating related local service providers, that means the business. Then conduct training sessions to educate and familiarize all levels of project staff, both for new initiatives and ongoing projects, on the principle and practices of the sustainability. Identify and articulate key outcomes and services that are likely to sustain over time, ensuring a focus on long-term project viability. Develop or modify the theory of change to incorporate specific activities aimed at promoting sustainability within the project framework. Establishing a comprehensive local service providers database to facilitate seamless collaboration and integration of external partners in support of sustainability goals. And then identify and develop the performance monitoring indicators and questions for local service providers and establish a system for collecting routine data to judge their effectiveness. Integrate sustainability indicator into the annual survey to holistically assess the project's overall impact and progress towards long-term sustainability goals. So that's I would say, the summary of what we need to do for the new projects or ongoing projects for designing the sustainability, considering these 4 elements and to monitoring those sustainability. So I would like to stop here. Now over to you, Alamgir, for questions and discussions.
Thank you very
Over to
much.
you.
Thank you very much, Rafiq Bhai. It's time question answer session and feedback and suggestion session. So anybody raise your hand on by one. I want to give opportunity to raise your question. So on question from chat box, Rafiq Bhai. One question is there. Question to Rafiq. Ernest from maybe Nigeria. Why the indicator for sustainability risk survey to deliver are in percentage only? Why not in number? Rafiq Bhai?
Okay, that's a good question. So what's happened in the number, if you go for the performance questions, that will be the routine monitoring. Those will be the see some of the numbers. So it depends. In fact, as we are talking about the annual survey indicators, we are considering that may need a to maybe good in terms of presenting in percentage. But okay, if you could develop any indicator that will give you a number in a good estimates, you can include that on as well.
Thank you. Anyone can adding more. And another one from Henry, AKM Firdaus Bhai. Please say something, your question or adding something.
Okay, thank you, Rafiq Bhai, for your nice presentation and very informative, though it is in short, but in broader sense, it makes a very good sense for us. Hopefully, we detail from the link, we'll know more. But 2-3 things I would like to know from you. One thing is that sometimes that is regarding RFSA sustainability. You have mentioned that from year 4, we should actually facilitate. But we can see that project, most of the projects support the service provider or company 1 or 2 years. Then start to facilitate without money or actually establishing well-furnished or developing capacity. So in this case, actually, I don't know, are you meaning that supporting to service provider and companies for 2 or 3 years, then need to starting for facilitation? Another question is that is what actually in Malawi you found challenges for fee-based services for crops in agriculture. And another thing I want to know from your experiences that revolving fund model, how you are being success in this case. And fourth, need to know what is the criteria you actually have set up for beekeeping entrepreneurs or a service provider, because you know for beekeeping area, year-round flowering is very much necessary. Then what again challenges you faced in your project? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Really, okay. Numbers of questions. So, your first question is for year 4. So the working with and handing over the project to the LSPs in year 4. And also you are telling that the capacity building of 1 or 2 years is sufficient or not. So what's happened, you know, this most of the projects that as I'm working in the USAID funded, the RFSS is a 5 years project. So if we, consider, I would say that if we, in initial stage, if we identify that what are the outcomes that we would like to make it sustain, and then who are the related service providers, and what will be the model, and you will start work from the initially, then you will get 2-3 years, and then in the 4 years is to together, to handing over, and the 5 years you are monitoring. That's one of the things. But recently the USAID also considered to another 2 years cost extension for monitoring those sustainability. That model is already is running in your Bangladesh. That I told, these 2 of the project. One is the Shuhardo 3+, another is a Nabojatra in Bangladesh. They got 2 years extension to see the sustainability. On the other hand, in Africa, I understand there are other countries also get this 2 years extension for monitoring the sustainability and see how it's work. This is one. And the revolving fund, yes. So in our marketing team, they form a group of the farmers, the producer groups, and it's the same like I would say, as you were telling in Bangladesh, that they are also, creating the market, inviting buyers, and here is one of the organization called NESFAM. They are really big, and they have a very big what it called the cooperatives types of things. So the farmers, they are selling their products, and also giving a portion to this fund. So it is revolving type of funds. I maybe, I don't know. I need to learn more on how. I know that the activities is working very well. The farmers are getting better price, as well as a good linkage with the buyers. So this revolving fund is details I might need to share the SOP. So if you can, I don't know, if you can give your email address to me, I can send you the details, implementation mechanism, and how it is working. I to be transparent, I don't have that micro level knowledge to share with you. And this you were telling this crop. So in terms of crop, what we are doing, we have a partnership with a organization called COFFEE, this community financial support organizations. So they are providing loan to the community for buying the good quality of seeds. And these organizations also have a partnership with the local seed company. So they are ensuring the quality of the seed with the proper testing with the government facilities, and then the farmers are getting this seed through, they are getting loan and then the seed, and when the production, after production, they are repaying this loan, and this loan is a very, I would say, there is a soft type of interest rate. So this, so far we have 2-3 round already happened, and the repayment rate is really good. The challenge, I would say, there was some challenge. For example, in the first phase, I can remember there one of the commodity, the germination rate was very poor. So few of the farmers, they were unable to pay. So that was one thing I would say that, but the challenge, on the other hand, the challenge that's related to implementation. But if you consider the challenge on related to the sustainability, I find one of the challenge that you did ask question, but I would say in terms of monitoring, all the components, they come up with a list of activities that will be sustained. Then it's very difficult to make them understand, hey, these project, these activities or the outcome that are not fitting rightly with these 4 elements. So in the M&E terms, we are seeing these activities will not sustain, but the who are responsible for implementing those, they are coming and telling, no, it will sustain. You go and collect data and see and prove it will not sustain. So you understand. So these types of, one of the challenges I facing, I would say, is right now. But we are considering, let's collect data and see, do the analysis and let them know that which one is working well and which one will not sustain. And then you can spell out, we tried, but this the learning, it is not working. And what are those activities that are sustaining, and that document the learnings. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. Another question is
Rafiq bhai, okay, fine. Thank you so much for your actually nice answering. Another thing is that regarding fee-based crop services, we can see in Bangladesh that is servicing directly, that is fee-based only for service. Farmers are not paying to them. The crop service is embedded service. This embedded service are practiced by LSP, like pesticide, who are providing pesticide services, and the companies retail shop or dealer shop, like this way. Another thing in Bangladesh, we can see that cooperative system, newly developed cooperative system through the project is very rare in success case. Actually, individual cases, that is conflict and contradiction, they actually make they do the actually conflict, raise the confliction among the community after end of the project. We can see sometimes, but the cooperative societies who are existing and doing the same work, working with them, they give the good result. And another question was, that is not question, actually to know from Maloya perspective, that is beekeeping things. In Bangladesh, I worked in a Fossil project, that flowering, if in a place of entrepreneurs, there is no year-round flowering, then it is very tough to sustain a beekeeping entrepreneur around the year. Am I right, Rafiq bhai?
Yes, but here, okay, that's a good question though. In Bangladesh, that's the plain land, and there are some seasonal type of different flower. But here it is a type of hilly area, and it is the conservatives, we called it a water point, watershed management. So as a hill, It's a type of, is a full of different types of trees. And then there are other activities to conserve the water and to planting trees. But these different type of trees, I don't know whether is round the year there is a flower or not. That's something I thank you very much, but I need to learn how. But I see the committee are producing a good amount of honey and they are selling. But whether it is working round the year or not, then one of the issue I need to investigate.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Firdaus Bhai and Rafiq Bhai. Another question from chat box. Geoffrey Ocean from Uganda. He asked question, at what stage of project life cycle do you develop this sustainability plan? At what stage of project life cycle do you develop this sustainability plan? Rafiq Bhai?
Yes, thank you very much. So as I told that during the project design phase, we had a sustainability and exit strategy. And then when we get these 4 elements that I present, then based on these 4 elements, we reviewed our the current status of the project with the colleagues and identified what are the outcomes that likely to be sustained, and to make it sustain, what additional activities we might need to take. And based on these, we modified our theory of change. Accordingly, we updated our the sustainability and exit strategies. And based on these, we developed our M&E system. So I would say, yes, it is the sustainability and exit strategy are there. We developed that one and we modified that one. The current one we are following and working based on these 4 elements. Over.
Okay, thank you. Just do you want to continue 10 or 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. So there was some people raised age, but not now. But anyone can share anything or ask question. Anyone? I am not seeing a chat box. No question.
Thank you.
There is Ashish Chatterjee, maybe raise your hand.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Nice presentation.
We are not hearing.
I am right. If on think on the motivation, it is in the sustainability concept in the Malay. So the learning, how you can adapt in the context of our life, food security, or in agriculture, or in
you are breaking.
So I think there's this motivational, in the sustainability sector, the motivation. So can you please share in your experience, learning one or two points in terms of how you can learn? Thank you.
Alamgir, I really did not get because he was breaking. So
network that was a network problem.
Oh,
I cannot hear. So another guy, Kamruzzaman. Kamruzzaman, please unmute.
So before going to Kamruzzaman, I would like to request the colleague, please, as you are breaking with the internet problem, you can write your question in the chat box, and then we can go to the Kamruzzaman.
Yes, Ashish Chatterjee, Dada, please. Actually, we cannot hear your talk. You can write up in chat box your question.
Okay, it's making some disturbance.
Okay, and
Network.
okay,
I think later I go. Think, making some disturbance. Yeah.
but we cannot hear actually. Please write down in our chat box. And Kamrud John, you can
Thank you.
say question.
Thank you, Alamgir bhai. Thank
You are
you so
coming
much,
later.
Rafiq bhai. I'm Mohammad Kamruzzaman, working for CIMIT Bangladesh as MEL consultant. I know you very well from the beginning. Thank you so much for your nice presentation and good interactive session today. Just all over my experience, many people did a lot for the community, for sustainability also. But at last we have found that due to the lack of more collaboration with the public-private sector and lack of activation of the local service provider and lack of motivation from the CBOs, the sustainability hampers. And at last we found that after completion of our project, we did not find any sustainable activities or sustainability or impact at the community level or by the government institutions or by the private sector or by the LSPs. But many people did a lot and did made a good report for the sustainability to and submit to the service providing agencies or organization. But due to the lack of collaboration and activation of policy or modification of policy from the government institutions, we cannot find any sustainable activities in the community-based organizations. Thank you so much, Rafiq.
Okay. Yes, so you asked question and also you answered the questions. That there are, so what's happened, we need to socialize the concept of the sustainability, both the in very beginning of the project. So you know this, so during the design of the project, we need to consider this. So when you are developing the program, what is called the problem tree and the solution tree, and that phase you need to identify, in fact, instead of going a wide range, but also my personal perspective is we really need to identify which of the service we would like to see that is sustained, and then what are the activities we need to do in terms of whether it is need a policy change, then you need to design your advocacy type of activities from the very beginning, and then the monitor that one. So not in the year 4 or year 5, rather than the year 1, you need to focus on this. Otherwise, is only the project is coming, only the benefits is getting during the project time, and this project is phasing out, all are going out. So maybe this is the time now we need to think about I don't know, I would say we need to focus on the sustainability. If it is a minimum few of the outcomes, then it's still fine. You can declare that we'll be working this, but okay, we'll sustain only this. So make a transparent type of things instead of telling that we will be sustain everything, but in the project end of the project, nothing is sustaining. Rather than let be transparent. Over.
Okay, thank you. Another
Thank you.
round from raise your hand. Francis Toyota. Francis Toyota.
Hello, yes, I'm Francis Weta.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions to ask, especially 3 of the questions. The first question is, are there any traditional early warning systems that the VDRMC committees use? If there are any, would you please share so that we can also have an insight of such systems? Because I saw in the presentation you indicated about the early warning information that you disperse to the VDRMC committees. The second question, In your example during the presentation, I saw resources such as agricultural inputs that you disbase. So I wanted to understand, because in our projects, in the humanitarian project we have here, we are also doing the same. So I wanted to understand how the data is collected, especially needs assessment or beneficiary during the beneficiary selection, to ensure that the data is accurate before you disbase such inputs. The last question is, I wanted to learn what are the best practices as well as the lessons learned that you can share with us so that we can also improve our respective projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, okay, let me go on by one. One is the early warning system. I would say, okay, what we did along with the training to the the committees in the local level, as well as we called it area level. Along with this, we provided mobile phone and created a WhatsApp group like what's this digital mail hub. So in the WhatsApp group, that includes both the community people as well as these committees. So whenever there is a warning coming, instantly using the local language, the warning system is going to reach to those community people uh, and also the committees. And based on these, they are taking preparations and actions against this. As well as the committee also have annual, every year they are reviewing their the DRMC plan and also implementing some of the activities that related to this DRM, disaster management, and the early warning system that the WhatsApp group is working so far well. Second, on the agriculture, this beneficiary selection and the agri inputs. So these beneficiary selections, okay, with the support from the in this country, in fact, I would say from the historically there is a producer groups existing in the community, but also with the support from the agriculture frontlines colleagues and our colleagues, we are providing the training to the lead farmers, and the lead farmers then cascading those training to those fellow farmers who are under the producer group. And we provided tools and techniques to the lead farmer to document all the service they are providing to their fellow farmers, including the training. So this training, we have a cascade tools with them, and our frontline colleagues are doing the monitoring and supervision and capacity building to the lead farmers, and also entering those data into a mobile-based apps. And based on this, okay, we are analyzing and using in decision making and reporting. That's what I'd say. And we have the demo plot based training modules as well, so that the farmer can get the practical type of training. And we have the system for documenting all this on this training.
Okay.
Best practice, lesson learned. Okay, Alamgir bhai,
Okay.
1 second. Okay.
Sure.
I would say, okay, still maybe we need to wait for giving you the concrete decisions on the lesson learned. But what we understand, these cascade tools that we are providing to the lead farmers. That is working very well, and they are feeling honor that getting a well-structured tools where they can document their day-to-day activities. That's one. But related to program, maybe we need a different session on this for discussing, and I would like to then invite my the learning lead who are leading those learning part. Over.
Okay. We need to finish for 3 minutes. So last question we can take from chat box. Ashish Chatterjee, motivation issue, which could have considered from service provider Maloi. We cannot talk at that time from Ashish Chatterjee. He write up in chat box, motivation issues, which could have considered from service providers Maloi.
Okay, thank you very much. So is mainly the business. For example, the community animal health workers. In Bangladesh, it's called maybe TVET. No, the vet, or there is another name. Anyhow, we call this community animal health workers. So we provided training and tools. So now they are charging for any of the service they are providing related to the animal health. So as they are earning, the same as the area mechanics, they are getting fees for fixing any of the boreholes, tube wells. And also, one of the things we are doing very good, for example, you see the picture here that we are a good number of youths are participating this training on different type of technical training. Like here you see the welding, the electricities, then the motor mechanics and all those things. So this training, after this training they are doing this business. So either they can do a business, also they can get job related to this technical skill they are gained. So we are expecting these youths that these activities will sustain.
Okay, Rohit bhai,
Over to you.
just one question from Raihan bhai, and then we will finish today. Raihan bhai, say something about anything.
Alangir bhai,
Raise your
this is
hand.
not
Yes.
a question. This is not a question. Thank you, Rafiq bhai. I think this is a very nice presentation. And at this moment in Bangladesh, we also need such types of plan. And I would just like to request Alamgir bhai and also Rafiq bhai, since the MEL hub is planning to also the physical presentation in Bangladesh, I think the Rafiq bhai, if you can help and Alamgir bhai can organize the physical presentation like this on sustainability, I think this would be very helpful. Thank you, Rafiq bhai.
Thank you, Raihan bhai.
Thank you, Ryan bhai.
Rohit bhai, and we may finish the last talk. You can say something about all the things, and we can finish today.
So
Rohit bhai?
you are asking me?
Yes, just finish.
So, okay, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this discussion with the interactive participation from the, in the discussion. And thank you for the patience for hearing this. And I would like to thanks for this digital MEL hub and circle. This is my second presentation. I can remember the first one maybe was me, and this time to give me this this opportunity to share this what we are doing here and what we are learning, and looking forward for future participation as well. Thank you very much. And any discussion, I saw this digital hub is very vibrant place, a platform. Lots of people are participating, sharing and exchanging ideas, knowledge, also providing this different informations. I would like long live for the digital MEL hub. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time, Rohit bhai, and everybody and have a good night. Have a nice day, nice night. Okay. See you again soon. Bye bye.
Okay, bye everyone. See you next.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. See you. See
See
you.
you.
Very nice.
Assalamualaikum. Bye bye.
Alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Alaikum salam. Thank you very much for your participation.
Assalamualaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Thank you, man. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, bhai. Bye.
Bye bye. Good night.